been kind of crazy. So, but yeah, so.
Well, okay. So I thought too, what we could start with is, I kind of have an idea of what I wanted to talk about. I didn't want to add anything onto you. And that's not what I want to do. So when I was praying about it, I just kept feeling like the basics, and just to get that, because it's got to be like ingrained in us,
yeah,
to be able to make it a new habit.
Yeah.
And so, hang on. I'm just writing notes so I don't forget. So while I'm writing this, is there any questions you have for me or anything?
I don't think so. I was thinking I'm supposed to get, I think, my Young Living order today, and I ordered, all right, last month I got the book, what's it called? Like Emotional Healing with Oils or something from Life Science Publishing.
Yeah.
And so I was looking through it, but I can't remember what oils I ordered. But it was like one for fear, I think, and one for maybe accept. I can't remember. Well, I checked my Young Living shipping. I didn't even check what I ordered. But anyway, I was gonna kind of try that from that book on just releasing. That's what releasing emotions or something. Anyway, but yeah, and you know, this whole thing with Tylus, you know, it's stressful, but then it just shows me like, you know, this is gonna be life, you know, where you can't just let stuff like this throw me off. So it's like, as much as it is uncomfortable, like it's kind of good, you know, like practice wise, or just reinforcement of
exactly
all of this. So
yeah, life never stops.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when I was on a coaching call, I don't always check my messages when I'm on a coaching call. I try to keep everything down. But a friend of mine, she was a client, a local client, so sweet. Her little girl was 3 and drowned. And I was just like, it just broke my heart, you know, and I think about things like that and how life goes on. You know, you have to have a season, you know, you have to have a season of grieving. You have to have emotions that get out. So it's not about not feeling the emotions. It's not about not feeling your frustration and not feeling your anger, and you know, because God gave us all of those. So you have to really just own them and say, this is how I'm feeling, and just take it to God. So, you know, I would go back to the basics, especially for what you're doing, what you're dealing with. And this is what helped me with my stepdaughter living here, because I hate to say this, but she really is about herself.
Yeah.
But a lot of kids are, a lot of teenagers are, you know, it's not just her, but she's also learned an exaggerated form of that from her mom. And so just being about herself and just saying, I'll be 15 minutes in the bathroom, and we have one bathroom and she's in there for 2 hours. I mean, it's, you know, not picking up after herself, not doing what she says. She took over payments on the Jeep, and we're still, are you going to give us the payment for the Jeep this month? Are you going to be, you know? So, I mean, it's just, you know, it's ongoing. And so when it's like that, here's my steps. And I know you've heard these steps, but I do have a step. I have steps. And I own my emotions. And I tell God that I'm angry at her. I tell him how I'm feeling, that I'm frustrated, I'm mad. And I do tell him, I know she's your daughter and you love her. help me to see it through your eyes, but right now this is what I'm dealing with. And then so I it's like getting all those emotions out that we talked about,
Yeah.
So you have to get all of them out and just feel them. Don't be afraid to feel those emotions, and then get them out so you don't like pile stuff on acting like it's okay, because inside it's not okay for you. It's not okay. Yeah. It's not okay for those things. So that's what I do. And then after I go through all of that, I say, okay, now God, I'm mad at her, but I trust that you are going to talk to her, that you are going to speak to her, that you are working all things out for good in this situation. And that's where it comes in, is I trust God. And then I say, I take her off of my hook and I put her onto your hook. And I forgive her. I forgive her. And the emotions may not be there right now. So, you're going to forgive her. And then number 3, you're going to pray for her and bless her. And you may have to do this 10 times a day. Even if, and then here's the other thing. You can take it a step further. You can visualize. Okay, so then you're going to visualize how you want your relationship with him to be. What does it look like? What does it feel like? How are you in the situation? What type of stepmom do you want to be? What does that look like to you? And then I would say number 5 would be, then you're going to speak that out loud. So you're going to visualize it, you're going to write it out, and then you're going to speak it out loud. And then, of course, number 6 would be, I would say one more prayer and say, you've heard everything, God. And I just always end it and saying, I trust you. However you want that prayer to be. So, and that's like 6 steps, but it can be real fast. Like, it doesn't have to be very long. I mean, you can do this in 5 minutes, and so that's what I'm saying. Sometimes if you have to do it 10 times a day, whatever, so whatever emotions that you have towards him, the awful things that you think about him, that's how you're going to bless him. Yeah. You're going to speak the opposite on him. That's how you're going to pray for him. That's how you're going to bless him. Mm-hmm. And even like things like stuff, I would say, they're not takers, I'm a giver. I'm a giver, they're not a taker. And also, in the whole thing of this, you still have to have boundaries. It's not like, just because I'm speaking these things, it doesn't mean there's not boundaries. And that's another thing you can visualize, is what kind of step parent do you want to be? You want to be to where you can set boundaries, healthy boundaries that are good for him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That make him more responsible.
Yeah. Yeah. He's really pushing the limits and flipped a switch. Like, I feel like he's just kind of puts on a little act for us, pity me and then whatever. But I feel like a lot of my friends tell them when they're with me, they feel just calm and comfortable and it's just soothing or something. But then when I am uncomfortable, I'm awkward, I get all okay, I'm going to talk with him today. I'm going to try to, work on let's write out some positives. You think this sucks? All your freedom's taken away, you can't do all the stuff you want to do, but let's like look at the positives, you know, just like, anyway, but then like, I'll go, well,
I was going to say that's good. And you can also say, well, here's what I would do if it was me. You know, this is what I do. And you can take it or leave it, but this is what's helped me in my life.
Yeah. True. But then I like go and it's just awkward. Like we have moments where I think he confides in me more than my husband.
Oh yeah.
But I also like I can get real awkward and just make it not real comfortable. Like so anyway, but we're gonna kind of sit down with him today, I think, and talk. But
well, and this is perfect that you can say you're going to visualize how you want to be. So, you know, I even said, I wrote something the other day, I smile at my children because sometimes we can get into the everyday things and be like, okay, now pick this up and do this and do that. Even though I'm a natural smiler, pretty much, that I tend to be like, dang, I was like just rare, you know, today. And so I just think, you know, saying I'm going to smile and what is it? And I'm not awkward. You know, if you say I'm awkward, don't say I'm awkward.
Yeah.
You know, so turn that into a positive. And that's what's going to change your life. And here's the other thing that I believe. I believe this. You have to believe this. And you probably already do. But just believe you are in his life for a reason. You are placed in the exact moment in his life for a reason. And that God is going to show you and reveal to you that reason every single day.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking, like, what holds me back? And it's fear. Fear that he's going to just roll his eyes and be like,
I know.
You know, because he's got that attitude of he knows what life is all about, even though he doesn't, you know, but it's just like, no, I do more than he does. Like, why am I insecure about it, you know, or whatever. Just
and that's that confidence that you have to have because listen, I deal with it too. And how I deal with it differently is because okay, so the last week the kids are acting different. Last 2 weeks. And I'm thinking, what's going on? Why are they doing this again? And every time they've done this in the past, their mother has said a lie of something that makes no sense. Like, just, I know this isn't the great, just pull it out of her rear, you know, like, where did it come from? Like, that even doesn't even, it's not even a half truth, you know, and you're going, where are you getting these at? And I don't know, but so when they come over, I can get attacked with thoughts of, what are they thinking about me? What lies are they believing? Oh, great, you know, now Christian's engaged to this guy. What all is she telling him and blabbing her mouth and running her mouth on? Because that's what she's done in the past. But if I sit in that and I think on that, that's when I act awkward.
Yeah.
You know? And so if I'm fearing they're going to roll their eyes or I'm not myself, like my husband's always like, just be yourself. Just be yourself. Just be yourself. And that was the hardest thing for me because even their mom would tell them stuff like, she wants to be your mom. Like, seriously, she's always wanted to be your mom. And I'm thinking, I said, like, I don't want to be your mom. I have kids. Even when they were little, she said that when they were little. I was like, what are you talking about? So it kind of made me fearful to act loving to them because I thought, they're going to think I'm going to try to be their mom because I'm a natural loving person. I'm going to hug you. I'm going to say bye. I'm going to say hi. I'm going to serve you when you come into my house. And Bree, get out of the office. You're not getting food. Yes, Mommy. Now you need to go to your room without mercy for not listening. Yes, Mommy. No, you don't get mercy. I will call you out in just a little bit. Thank you, Bree. You can come out in just a little bit, but you cannot go in the office and get food. You just ate breakfast. I've been having to really like be like this with her when I'm on my calls, because she thinks that if I'm on my calls, you know how it is. So anyway,
that's what I told mine. I said, don't come and ask me for food. You just ate breakfast.
They think they need to eat stuff, but so I'm fearful of that, but so I have to like totally clear my mind of all these things that I'm thinking, and it's still kind of an awkward feeling sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, but I can be myself so much more if I don't care. Like I don't care, and I know that they'll respect me more for it. And if they don't, it's not my problem. It's not my fault, because I can't change who I am for them. And I'm not going. And I did it for a long time. Like Christian didn't even know me. She was saying stuff like, well, you don't just, confront things and da-da-da-da. And I said, whoa. I looked at Dusty and her and I said, you don't know me. And this, because I said, I haven't felt comfortable being myself in front of y'all because of all the lies that y'all believed. I said, but if I have an issue, I'm going to confront it right then. I said, like, it doesn't wait.
Yeah.
My kids know it doesn't wait. I said, y'all don't know that part of me. So her living here, she got to know that part of me. And I was able to be myself. What is that? Go. And so try to not think on those things. Try to not think about it, not being awkward. And because our brain, and I think you probably know that, it doesn't know the difference between reality and what hasn't happened if we're thinking about it. Like it doesn't know the difference.
Yeah.
So we can tell it things. We get to tell it things.
Yeah. Yeah. I've even found myself like insecure with like my body, like can't like sit comfortable. Like I don't want to wear the shorts that I normally wear. And I'm like, why do I care? I mean, not like I don't care what he thinks, but like, why am I letting that, like he's a kid,
I have had all those feelings too.
Yeah.
And that's where you have to just be like, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I was thinking this morning, I sat down with my Bible and journal and all that, like my goals and declarations and stuff. And like, I haven't done them this week. And normally I would be like saying to myself, like, seriously, Kylee, you're doing this, 8 weeks and you can't even like do it, just that kind of whatever. But it wasn't like, I was like, okay, I haven't done it, but I'm sitting down today and I'm doing it. Like, or with food too, like on the weekends, like I've been doing like pretty well, like during the week, but like I sit there and was reading my goals, and it's just interesting how like God has moved through those, like, and is working on them. And I don't, you don't even realize it. But even the food part, like, emotional eating and stuff, like, I feel like this isn't just, like in the past, like, okay, I'm going to do this and get to my goal, and then I can eat whatever I want, and I can control it. You know what I mean? Which never happened. But there's just been just a balance, and like not the failure feeling, and not like the desire just to like.
Okay, hang on, Kylee. I'm sorry. Hey. Okay, you're going to have to stay in your room when Gimel gets here if you keep doing stuff like that. Take those off and you go back in your room and you sit in there. If there is a mess in the bathroom, you will have to clean it off. First of all, I don't want a mess in the bathroom. Wash your hands off and get in your room, okay? Yes, Mommy? Okay, sorry.
They're like, I just haven't felt like just that desire just to like shovel junk in my mouth. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like just
awesome.
And anyway, but I was thinking about that, and Brian, he's always been like very affectionate, But he sent me a message this week because it's just been like way more like, I don't know, just verbally telling me like, I love you and just all these things. And he just said, I feel really, I've been overwhelmed with, what do you say? Like feeling like I need you to know how much I love you and how much, show you how much, let me see if I can find it. But, I've been overwhelmed lately with the need to be close to you and make sure you know how much I really adore you and love you and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, just, I feel like that's, and not that I haven't felt that, but I feel like that's a little closure to like maybe just the stuff in the past. I don't know.
Have you been different with him, you think, since all of this? Or
I don't think so.
He's seen you working on it though?
Yeah, and I've talked about stuff and so.
Yeah, and you don't know what that's doing to him either, you know?
Yeah.
Knowing that you're having to work on this and everything. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So anyway, just like as I was reading through the goals and stuff, those just came to mind, like just how much like has changed or God's working on things. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. Well, so let's just say, okay, we have two more of these. There's one more of these, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I put down is what are things that you can be doing to help that habit become ingrained? So for instance, you know, for what you're doing, because this week you haven't done it because it's stressful. And so see, that's when I say when you need it the most, or when you want to do it the least is when you need to do it the most.
Yeah.
And because we're just like, oh, do this, I don't want to do that. And then we get dug further and down into a black hole, I think, kind of like you said. And I was like, oh, I totally get that. I totally understand that. So for instance, if people want to work out in the mornings, right? Make it a habit. They'll pick their workout clothes out and put it by their bed, you know, in the morning. Some women even sleep in their workout clothes. You know, I've heard that they get up and they do that. They'll put a water beside, you know, on their nightstand. So when they wake up in the morning, they'll drink that water. Or if they want to learn the habit of flossing their teeth, they'll put the flossers right there by the toothbrush. So it's like, what are some things that you can think of that will help you stay with this and keep doing it, even when you don't want to do it, so that it becomes so much like a habit that, you know, like sometimes we're in a habit and we get in the car and we're going somewhere and we're like, oh my goodness, this is not where I'm going. It's just because there's a habit of us driving, you know, a certain way all the time. And so that you just are going to get up and not think about it.
Yeah.
You're just going to do it. And to also know that whenever things come to your mind, it's going to be a habit of, well, you know, I'm awkward and I'm this. So what would be the habit of saying, you know, that as soon as the thought comes to your mind, okay, I'm not going to believe that lie. Maybe I have felt awkward, but this is what I'm going to do from now on. This is who I am. And you visualize all these things. So I just kind of wanted to think what you could do, what you could do that could create these as a habit.
Well, that's what, whenever you were mentioning that, like the whole I'm awkward, like I did not even recognize that, you know, like, but I can see it now, like after the fact. It's like,
okay. So you didn't even recognize. See,
like,
that's,
how can I, like, you know.
And I'm sure I do it too. I think it's easier for other people to see it. You know?
Yeah. So that's one thing. I'm like, how do I, and that's, I guess I can pray about just conviction, over my day, that the Holy Spirit would convict me, like if I'm speaking that way, or if I say something. But yeah.
Could you put like Post-it notes up anywhere, or could you put, like maybe if you don't want Tyler to see him or something? I don't know, because I know it's different with our own kids compared to stepkids. It just is. Even like, I don't care that the boys see me doing things sometimes.
Yeah.
And then it's like you said, but maybe he does need to see you doing things because he can see what you're doing. But, just putting Post-it notes up or putting it on the inside of your closet, saying, what are some of the negative thoughts that I did? Is there any negative thoughts that I thought? How can I turn those to positive? That you're constantly seeing things to create a habit. If you have a journal or something that's happy or something by your nightstand and making your eyes visually see it every day, this is what I need to be doing, every day. And I just think having things out so we can see them can help. And maybe you have a certain spot in your house that you're going to go to every single morning. And sometimes it's not going to work out with kids. And then that's when we go, okay, it didn't work out. So actually you can say, I'm going to speak my truths. I'm going to let my kids hear me say them. And then we're going to speak truths together.
Yeah.
I'm going to have them speak truths.
Yeah.
So instead of being like, oh, I didn't get to do this, how we talked about, well, how can I bring them into this?
Yeah.
And it's going to be blessed too. And sometimes it's even more of a blessed time because God will speak through them.
Yeah.
And knowing that that's how my day's supposed to go.
Yeah.
You what?
I've done it a little bit with them, but I wanted to make it more of a habit because, like, I feel like they need that. Like, my older one just has that. I mean, I hate to, like, say this is the way she is, like, but she's just more negative. Like, she needs, like, positive reminders, or and my other one, the 4-year-old, she's getting a little attitude and can't do anything on her own now and stuff like that. So but yeah, like I've put like things in front of the mirror in the bathroom, like in the morning, but like sometimes they just get to be where you just don't even notice them. And so, but if I like take something on my toothbrush to where, like, I get up and that's like the first thing I do is brush my teeth. And so, if I have to actually like, it's not just fixed on something, like you have to like move it or something. So maybe
that's perfect.
But yeah.
Or you could even do it when you're making your bed. I know it sounds funny, but as moms, we got to take advantage of like multitasking some things. So making your bed and like speaking those 5 goals, that you wrote. And sometimes there may be more than 5 that you need to speak, but it really doesn't take long. Or if you don't have time to read them that day, record them on your phone, listen to them while you're making your bed, listen to them, and then just really be like, yes, this is what I'm doing. This, and visualize it while you're cleaning or whatever. So make it easy on yourself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is something, because like that's basically I get out of bed, make it, and go brush my teeth. And so, I mean, that would be good if I would, doable, like while I make my bed and while I'm brushing my teeth, I can be like speaking some of those things or whatever, and get in the shower and pray the blessings or whatever.
Maybe your shower time would be your prayer time of blessing. See, that's awesome. I love that idea. And so I'm going to do it these are the declaration times where I'm speaking these positive things. And then then throughout your day, it's like, when a negative comes up, you think, oh, I'm going to do that. So it's just kind of an ongoing thing. But your goals, your declarations for your 5 goals would be great while you make your bed. If you have some while you brush your teeth, you can listen to, and then do the prayers for the blessings in the shower. I love that. Yeah. I think that would be really great.
Because it's not that I shouldn't make time for it, but like I'm already doing something. So it's not like you got to wake up 30 minutes early and, multitasking. So,
including it into there, and then just going ahead, I'm trying to get my pelvis untucked. This is what I do. These are the things that I do all the time. Because, turn it down, sleepy. Hey, Bree, come here. I bet she can't hear me. Can you hear the radio? She just turned up.
Yeah.
It's okay. So that's something I just wanted to write that down. What you said. I just think this makes such a difference. Oh, I know it does. There's all this good stuff that's getting into us instead of all the lies we believe.
Yeah.
And see, I'm even writing this down because I was like, ooh, I love that. Because, I do things certain ways, but I thought, I like how you were talking about praying the blessings in the shower, because that's what I'm doing in the shower. And, you could hit different people that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not be so us focused. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we can be praying, help me do this, and help, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And that could just be a really good time to focus on somebody else or something.
Yeah.
So, and I wasn't, and I thought about the tapping stuff, and just inside my spirit, I just felt like I'm not comfortable doing that because I haven't really been trained as much. I've done it myself, but if you're interested in it, there is a lady on YouTube that's a Christian lady, and you could find her and look up fear. And that's what I thought, because I thought, and you could put your oils on for fear, and then go onto the tapping video for fear, and then write that out. She's a little boring. There's another lady, I think, that does it too. And sometimes I can even listen to people who aren't Christians, as long as they're not like out there, because it basically is the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just focusing on something. So that's what I would do, is just, do your oils, and you could try to do tapping and just see if it works. I would be interested, if you do try it, I would be interested to see what you think, if it helps you just as much as the declarations and focusing on things, because I'm not sure. I have my friend who says it works for a lot of people, but I wonder if those people just don't make it a habit of what we're doing.
Yeah.
And that's dedicated time that they're doing that and focusing on it. So I know that people talk about the meridian and the energy lines, and listen, I understand all about energy stuff because of muscle testing.
Yeah.
You can, my naturopath showed me this. I can stand in front of a person and I can say, think of something that makes you happy and joyful, and I can test them and they feel strong. I can take my hands down the center of their body, like here's their head, and I can go all the way down, and I'll say, think, and their arm goes down. It's because I messed with like this energy, because we all give off, it's not like weird energy, it's just how God made us.
Yeah.
And so, sometimes, this is another thing, our polarity is off. So I can test somebody and go, okay, is when I tap on your head and just some different things, are you strong? Are you weak? And if it's opposite, I can tell them to do this. Funniest thing. And they do it, and then it's fixed. It's like something in there, it just turned around. And that is so strange how all of this works. So I don't know if the tapping has stuff to do with all of that. So that's what I said. I haven't been trained in that enough to know to do that. So I'd rather somebody taking, and I thought, she can just find somebody and do fear of worms, fear of anything, that you need help with, and see if it helps. And experiment and see, does this help me as much as the just speaking truths? Hang on one second, okay? Little girl. My goodness gracious. Good for you. Okay.
Now, do you know that lady's name or off the top of your head?
Let me see if I can find her. I think I follow her, but I think... Turn it down, though, baby. Okay, so this lady is, I like her. She's called the Christian Meditator. So you can look up her. Hey, Bree, I said to turn it down. And then there's another lady. This is the lady that's kind of boring. It's EFT for Christians. Turn what down? Oh, no. I have had 4 voicemails that are just cells. Do you get this all the time?
Oh, yeah.
This Lucio is here. So I'm going to teach you to make you
Some Christians can be kind of hooky. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know. She is. Yeah, so I think the Christian, I don't know what all she has, but you could try the Christian Meditator. I think she's kind of a little bit more fun. And then the EFT for Christians, go ahead and just look through them and see. Because the Christian Meditator, I don't know if she has a lot of tapping. I would just go to her YouTube video and search and hit tapping.
Okay.
Or EFT. EFT or tapping on that.
Okay.
But the EFT for Christians, she's all about tapping.
Okay. I'm about 4 pages done with this brain book, Caroline Leaf's. And it's been interesting, the little detox steps at the end, like on how kind of all things like we've talked about are kind of tied into it. Like dreams, she talked about like writing your dreams down, and then there was just one step that I read this morning on like your blood sugar control, and anyway, just it's been,
isn't that something?
Yeah, so
that's cool.
Yeah,
she's more scientific-y talking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Some people don't like that. Some people love it. I do. I like that kind of stuff. I like learning like that. Yeah. But so see what you're doing. Everything's just kind of come together for you.
Yeah. I have her other book that I ordered with this one. Switch on your brain or something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read that one next, I think. But
isn't there another one too?
I think there is.
Let me see.
Wow, it's Spider-Man and Iron Man. It's the Avengers. Oh.
I was just looking because I thought there was. Oh yeah, there's all just different ones. Okay, switch on your brain. You've got the perfect you, my brain, the gift in you. I don't know how much of them is overlap,
Yeah.
But learning things over and over again isn't necessarily bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, then let me get that cemented in. So I think because what you're learning is like really good over and over again. But that's why I thought when I was praying over you, I was like, we need to go back to the basics. We don't need to go and do adding more. Let's not add more. Because the basics is going to get you there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because I can't sit here and do the basics and then something hard happens and I just fall away from it and then I get back when everything's okay. That's not the way.
Yeah.
That's good, I guess.
So just remember these steps. So that's what I would say. Try those 6 steps on him and do it however many times a day that you need to. Think about ways that can do the habits, just like you said, making bed, brushing teeth, and in shower. Looking for the tapping videos and just see things I was writing, believing you're in his life for a reason. There was something else. No, we're not going to work on that. Yeah, and then your oils. I think that's a lot. But it's not like. It's just you just bring it into your day, just like you bring alignment into your day, your body alignment and everything. This is aligning your spirit. This is getting you into correct alignment for you to walk in your purpose. Because Kylee, the whole thing is if you get over this fear and it does not hinder you anymore, you are going to be able to walk in your purpose and call even more. That's my heart. My heart is, God, help me to get them free. It's Isaiah 61, to break the chains off of them so that they are free to walk in the purpose and the call that you have for them. Because if you're walking in shame and you're walking in fear, you can't do it. You have to have that freedom. And so there's something in you also for your stepson. But if you're walking in fear or awkwardness, you're not going to be able to pour into him as much as you could. And so Satan just wants to keep us held in that and not be able to be everything that God called us to be. And that's what God wants for you. He's like, Kylee, I knitted you together in your mom's womb for a reason. There's a purpose in you, but it got covered up with all the stuff that we're digging out. So and all the lies. So the truth is there. You just got to believe the truth. So it's still, again, trusting God, understanding his love, being so in love with him. These are steps. Okay. But the number one thing is, sitting in Jesus' presence is what heals us more than anything. But he's the one that tells us to renew our minds. So when you are renewing your mind to the truths, and this is what I think is the difference between the Christians and the non-Christians and all these belief stuff, is when you sit there and think, okay, I'm just awkward. Okay, so you can believe, you have to know that's a lie and that's not who God made me to be. How does God see you? I know you want to visualize yourself as how you see yourself, but also how is God looking at you? What are the giftings and talents he's put in you? And that you can really focus on that as well. So this isn't you doing it by yourself. These are the steps that God is going to help you with, because he's right there with you through all of this. And I mean, he can take something and heal you like that. So even all this tapping or whatever, I don't know, you may sit one day in the presence and something happens. So because I went to a women's retreat one time, I don't know if I told you about this. And she said, okay, I want everybody to line up on the wall and tell how you got free this weekend. And I was like, oh, cool, yeah, can't wait to. I didn't tell you this?
No.
Okay, I can't wait to see what God said to everybody and what they did. And I didn't really feel like there was any freedom in my life at that point in time. And I heard God say, you need to get up and get in line. And I was like, what? I don't even know what I'm going to say. What do you mean? Yeah. And I know when God's talking to me, so then my body started shaking, and I was like, oh, well, please don't make me stand. I don't even know what I'm going to do. And so I went, and I was like, fine, I'll be obedient, and I'll do this. And I was the last in line, and I was the whole time thinking, I do not know what I'm going to do. And about this time, I was married to my second. Do you know I got married to my first two? Miles' dad, when I got pregnant at 15, I had baby at 15, and I got married for a year and a half. And he was my first love, everything. And I just was never really over that. Was just never over him. It was so hard. And I was probably, in my second marriage, I was into, I don't know, my second, third year of marriage with him. And I still had that feeling of,
Yeah.
So anyway, I was sitting there, and I got up. I still didn't know what I was going to say. And they called me up, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And I just remember her, and she was like, you didn't want to come up here, did you? And I said, no, I did not know. And God downloaded it that instant, like just that obedience, of trusting him, knowing and that obedience. And I was like, okay. And he showed me, like, there was this thing that they had done where there was this river. And they just said, okay, I want you to jump over it and close the doors from past hurts or whatever. And I was like, okay, so I did that. But God told me right then, and I had a microphone, and I said, God told me, all this just started pouring out of me. I don't even remember what I said. I said, he healed me from this. He healed me from that. And I'm telling you, I had no idea what I was going to say. Yeah. Everybody in the room jumped up and was yelling and screaming, so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, But from that day forward, I never felt that for him ever again. Like, God shut the doors, like, supernaturally. Yeah. So this can almost become a work too, of you doing this. So don't think of it as a work. It's a meditation, because God tells us to meditate, on his word. On truths. So everything that you're writing down, truths, they are truths of how God sees you. So don't be like making your bed thinking it's a work. Really just be like, and have gratitude. Thank you, God, that I'm able to do this. Thank you that you made our minds and our bodies to be able to do this. So I don't know, maybe that helps you, because he's our healer. Yeah. And then there's tools that we can use.
Yeah. With Tylis, I had like a hard time at first. Like, my husband and I met, like, we got set up on a blind date, and then I might have told you this. Like, I felt like we talked about everything. He was away at school, and we talked for hours and hours, and like told each other everything. And then like a week or two later, I get a text message, and he says, oh, by the way, I have a kid. And I'm like, we've like talked about everything. And I understand where he was coming from, but like, I never like it.
By the way, I have a kid. Yeah. He didn't know how to tell you.
Yeah. Well, I think, he said in the past, like, once he says something, then people are just, they're like, I don't want to deal with that. And so I know it's like he wanted to know that it was going to go somewhere before he just said something. But I'm the type, like, I need to know, like, everything. Like, anyway. And so I just struggled, I think, just with it. But then, like, it got just like my love for Tylis grew, and I'd go pick him up, and then like right when we were getting married, his mom was like, oh, by the way, we're moving to Florida. And he's been down there for 10 years. And something in my mind just shifted. Like, what's the point? He is moving. Now he's leaving. And maybe it was something deeper, like everybody has left, like friends have left, or, whatever in the past. But it doesn't make sense. But,
okay, so see, wow, have you ever dealt with that right then? What you just told me?
Well, I mean, I've told some people like,
okay, I would just say, God, if there was anything there that was a root from people leaving or whatever, show me that so we can get that dealt with. Because you never know if there was some hurts there. Like maybe it just lets you put a wall up with him that needs to get broke down.
Yeah. Well, they're definitely, like, I just feel like there was just almost this evil that like came over me. Like it was just when he'd come back, like it was just like I couldn't even help it. Like I just put a wall up and almost just pretend he wasn't even there. Like it just made me sick, like how I acted. It made our marriage bad. And then it's like the day that I found out, like I found that letter that Brian wrote to Brittany, it was like in that moment, anything with Tylis, all that stuff, it was just taken away. Like I didn't even, like I haven't had that for like, I mean, whatever it's been now, 5 years. And so like that's a miracle, like that I have experienced of God just taking that away. And I have apologized to Tylis for, just that. And
oh, that's good. Yeah.
And it took me like a couple of years because he would only come back like once a year, or maybe he'd come back every Christmas. He's 19 now.
Okay.
But I remember like one of the last times, or when that maybe a couple of years ago, because it just can get awkward and like there's no moments, because then when he came back it was like he'd go visit all his family and it just never was like he was just here. And so but I was like, no, I'm gonna go. And I went and I was like crying, and he just looked at me like, it's okay. But like I knew, even though he kind of blew it off, like he needs that for his heart. And I think it meant more to him than like our relationship is different now, like it's a lot closer. But anyway, but that is just something that's just like that I've experienced God doing, that is just like in an instant, he just changed it. But then I had to deal with our marriage thing. But anyway.
Yeah, that's, see how God can do that. I love when he does that. So see, that. That. But, with this, what we're doing here, even though I'm saying, God's the healer or whatever, what's important is that we're learning not to live how we've lived. Yeah. We're learning not to let Satan and whoever, just ourselves tell us lies.
Turn off. Just like a little bit. Huh? Still flaming at your bricks and scattered them around the city. It might have been fun for you, but it hasn't been fun for anyone else.
Okay. Well, I know my mom's about to be here, so, but let me tell her, okay. That's what we're just not believing. We're not going to let ourselves speak that stuff or believe that stuff about us anymore. And God doesn't want us to.
Yeah.
And so that takes habit, but then that's when we can actually even get into more healing, and get rid of all that shame and junk that's on us, and actually propel other people into their purpose and callings.
Yeah.
When we're healthy, we get to help other people be healthy.
Yeah.
So I think
I was thinking this morning, like, why is it that I could take some random person and like bring them in my home and like want to help them change their lives, but then it's, you know, it's different when it's like personal.
Well, it's because you haven't seen maybe what they've done, that you haven't seen all the irresponsibility.
Yeah, it hasn't been like personal.
Yeah, you haven't seen all these things. But if they were there for a while and they were doing that, you feel the same way.
Yeah.
You would. But yeah, you would. So it's even like my kids, my blood kids, I'd be like, it is time to leave. You have got to go.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to act this way, this is how old you are, if you're going to try to act like an adult and do things that I don't agree with, then I'm not supporting that habit. So you need to figure out something else. And, you know, one moved out and another one changed. And now they're all doing pretty good. I mean, really pretty good. But I just can't, I mean, and then when they're your stepkids, it is harder. I wish people are like, oh, I love them like my own. No, you don't. You can say that all you want, and I know you love them, but you don't love them like your own. And if they do, then they're like Mother Teresa or something. Because I mean, you can love them. It's just different. I mean, because I've been in blended families my entire life. And it is just different, but you can still love them, and you can still do things, just like you can just love friends, you know, but the love is different. And sometimes we have a little more patience with our own kids than sometimes.
Yeah.
It just depends on that. Yeah, it just depends, but it'll be interesting. I know Dusty and I are going to be leading. They've asked us to lead a class, 8 weeks class at a time for blended families. And what we really want is, I said, you know, it's not going to be so much as blended family as it is about the marriage. Because if you can get the marriage right and heal it's going to be about them and their marriage. And yeah, we'll have some practical things with the kids, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
if you can get your marriage good and you heal yourself, you're going to make it. Like my stepdaughter and mom is in this relationship, and they broke up because, I don't know, Christian, they're together now, but Christian didn't go to a birthday party or something, and then he got mad because she didn't go to his kid's birthday party, and I guess they got in a fight and broke up. And she was like, her mom was telling her, it takes the whole family to keep a relationship together, and I was like, and I did bust into her room, and she was bawling and crying, and I said, no. I said, that is a lie. You don't believe that. I said, your dad and I, if that's the truth, we would have been divorced a long time ago. I said, because you know how it's been with everybody. I said, that's not truth. And do not believe that lie. This is not your fault. And so I just think, no, it's not the kids. It's your marriage. And then you have to agree, and, you know, with the kids. And I'm, first and foremost, I am Dusty's wife. I am his wife. And then I'm the stepmom. And I let him deal with as much as he can with the kids, not me as much. Now, I did with Skylar Moore, my other one from my other marriage, because I was around him when he was a baby. So from baby up till 17, 18 years old, that's all he knew. So he was pretty much treated like my other kids. But when you are together and they're like grown, it's just so different. You know? And so every situation is a little different, but that's why you've got to agree on things. But this will be interesting with this whole blended marriage thing. I just am like, oh, okay, yeah, we've been praying about it, because my husband, he's amazing with men. Like, he is amazing with men, and showing them how to be an amazing husband. And he's more quiet, but when you get him in that situation, he gets on fire. It's so much fun watching him. We've counseled couples together, and it's like, that's his thing. Yeah. So I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. That just put me on a tangent about blended families.
Yeah.
I just know how it can be. And it doesn't have to be as hard as it can be, but other parties make it harder.
Yeah.
And then they're raised differently from another mom than we would raise our kids. And so,
yeah.
But I think you're doing a good job. Don't think you're not doing a good job. I think you're doing a good job. Y'all welcomed him into your home, and some people wouldn't have even done that. So I just think what you're doing and planting seeds is going to make a difference. And I think that just believing we're going to make a difference in his life, because our spirit is greater than, we are more spirit than flesh. Greater is he than is the world, than he is in the world. And so just everything you're doing, I would also think spiritually it is doing something in him.
Yeah.
It is.
I was thinking a lot of stories that I've heard that have been like impactful for people, like turning away or, turning to Jesus and stuff. Like they weren't like, Jesus wasn't like shoved in their face. It was just people loving them, where they're at. And so, I usually put on music or something while I'm cooking or doing the dishes, like some Christian music or something, or just, Johnny Cash, like just whatever I'm in the mood for. And, but then I have this little thought like, oh gosh, I don't want to be like throwing all this, him like, okay, I'm in this house and they listen to this. But then I'm like, no, because I thought, well, maybe I shouldn't like overwhelm him. But like, if this is our environment, this is just it. I don't know. So either, because sometimes I confuse like, okay, is that like the enemy like trying to get me to question myself, or is it the spirit kind of being like, don't shove this down his throat, you know what I mean? Anyway, or thinking about it and just live your life the way you would.
Yeah, just do that. And here's what we pray, and it's not our timing, but we just ask God to open doors that have times for those kinds of talks, and he does. He always opens those doors. It's like, wow, God, I believe, and I go in there and set my intention that I know that he's going to have that time when we're supposed to talk to each one or whatever, and he does every single time. And so he's going to do the same thing with him. He's going to give you opportunities to talk to him.
Yeah.
So just be praying for that.
Yeah.
Well, so I just want you to work on that this week, and then tell me how you do. And that way, see if it keeps you out of a black hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know, but how hard that can be, I do. I'm right there with you. I told my husband, I was like, oh, I know what she's going through. And I said, you have to kind of pull yourself out of it, and you don't want to do these things. So I can't wait to meet next week and see how you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, you have a good day. I know my mom's about to be here, so I don't even know what we're doing today.
Yeah, my husband should be getting home. He gets home early on Fridays, so.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's right. Y'all have a fun day.
Yeah, you too.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Okay,
Okay,
bye.
bye-bye.